Reputation is down to its chief executive. Well, recent research suggests that customers trust a business more when the CEO is more visible, especially on social media. And it's led to a big rise in personal branding for company executives. Well, joining me now is Sam Winsbury. He's founder and chief executive of the personal branding agency Kurogo. Sam, I'm fascinated by this, not least because I can remember CEOs in the past, for example, Philip Clark, when he was at Tesco. He started out on social media and then basically had to bow out because it was causing too much trouble for him.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more examples of that at the moment. We've seen the likes of Stephen Bartlett recently has built a massive business social chain, similarly to the Tesco story, really built off the value of personal branding. So huge potential for it. And of course, there is the potential for it to become so overwhelming that people have to reduce how much of it they're doing.
So why does a CEO need to bother about their personal brand?
Yeah, so you hinted at it there. Trust is obviously a massive thing. I think there's never been such a shortage of trust between consumers and businesses, or even businesses and businesses before. So earning that trust back, particularly in the online world, is much more difficult when it's harder to meet people in person. So really important for building trust with your audience and with your potential customers.
How do you show someone on social media, though, that you are authentic? I mean, I imagine a lot of CEOs that do still put out tweets and Facebook posts have someone to do it for them in their press office.
Yes, well, it's very easy, obviously, if we're meeting in person to build up trust and to build relationships with people. But when we're doing it online, that becomes a lot harder. It's quite easy to, create a good persona for yourself for 30 minutes during a meeting. But if you're doing it over the course of 3 to 5 years every single day online, that's, from my standpoint, far more convincing.
But if I'm a CEO and I say, well, OK, my business is pretty successful, my reputation should really follow on from that. I don't need to go out and promote myself. It will just grow on the merits of what I'm doing with the business. What would you say to that?
Yeah, well, that is an issue that a lot of people are facing, is that they have these amazing businesses and they've got great results, they're doing great things, but people simply don't know about it. And that is the problem that a lot of people face, is not actually achieving amazing results or having great businesses doing great things. It is getting people aware of that amazing work that we're doing. I think the way I kind of stumbled into this was people reaching out to me for help with this sort of thing when I was younger. And at the time, I didn't have an awful lot of experience. I didn't have a huge business. I didn't have a team. We weren't doing amazing work. And that really struck me, because I thought, if I can get this reach and get people trusting in me and have enough trust in me to help them, imagine what people with, 5, 10, 20 years experience and a great business can do with it. So huge potential for those people. But quite frankly, doing great work is just not enough anymore. It needs to be publicized as much as possible.
All right, Sam, I mean, he's not a CEO, but how would you, for example, advise Boris Johnson to rebuild his personal brand? I mean, he's effectively just been sacked by his MPs because they didn't trust him to tell the truth to them.
Yeah, that's a slightly deeper issue than having a good online presence, I think. But regardless of political standpoints, I think it's about sticking to your word and actually doing good work outside of the online world. It's very difficult to build a strong reputation online when your offline reputation or the things that you're doing offline don't quite match that. So it's first about making sure you've got kind of the body of work and good initiatives kind of offline, and then presenting that information online first. You can't cover it up or forge a reputation online. Personal branding is not about creating a false representation of yourself or forging a reputation. It's about framing your reputation, framing your expertise, your experience, your values in the best way possible.
All right, Sam, we've got to leave it there. Good to talk to you this morning.